How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Timberborn, and welcome back to the Iron Isles. Things are going pretty well at the moment. You might have spotted over by District 2, we actually have 2 of the large water wheels up and running. They are generating about 1,200 horsepower of power, and so those are going to be perfect to power. That's too many uses of the word power, but that's going to be perfect to power. A lot of alliteration going on now. The smelter. And the smelter is 16 scrap metal away from being built. Now, this thing takes 200 horsepower. Like I mentioned, these guys are generating about 1,200 horsepower. So we're gonna have about 1,000 horsepower left over from these 2 water wheels. And that's got me thinking. It's got me thinking about the fact that we have nearly 2,000 wheat sitting in storage, and the fact that we have 310 wheat flour sitting in storage as well. Now, we have got some bread in storage, which is great. That means the bakery is up and doing its thing, but what that says to me is that the 1 bakery we have isn't enough, and that the 2 grist mills we have also don't happen to be enough. So, long story short, that's gonna be a whole laundry list of problems, because at the moment in District 1, we have 15 job vacancies. We have 7 kids, but 15 job vacancies. And I think the reason for that is because we don't have enough kids coming along. We don't have enough baby beavers coming along. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to my storage here, and I'm gonna use this place as a means to get more beavers, as weird as that might be. So what I'm going to do very simply is just place a bunch of breeding pods up on top of this guy, and then what we can do is go ahead and use some paths and structures and whatnot, use some platforms to bring us up here and give us, I guess, a way to get up to the top right here is what we're going to do. So long story short, we'll put a couple of platforms there. We'll do some double platforms like this. We'll do some stairs here, and once we get this all connected together, we can do this, this, and this, and that's going to be 6 more breeding pods, which is absolutely fantastic, although we don't have that many berries. So just because I want to make sure we can get some berries, I'm actually going to go and place more blueberry bushes right down here so that we maintain a pretty good supply, because we only have 116, and as soon as a drought comes along, that's going to be a bit of a problem. So we'll get this going. It's going to take a little while to build, but that's okay. And actually, I'm going to do more platforms here, and I'm going to do more breeding pods. I'm going to go for just a whole bunch of them up there, and that'll be a whole bunch more beavers, which will hopefully deal with a lot of the unemployment issues and population issues that we're running into. So that's going to be our main project to start with. I want to go ahead and prioritize all of this work. Absolutely every little bit of it needs prioritized. I want that all worked on as quickly as possible, and hopefully it's not going to take forever, because there are some other things I'd like to do. Like I mentioned, we need more grist mills, so that's where this island comes into play. And what I'm thinking for this island is something relatively simple. If I go into storage and I go to small warehouse, I can build a small warehouse here and here. And if I go and put some levees just here, I can build myself another small warehouse, and that's great. I want to go to these guys, though, and say that they're not going to store anything except for, if I can find it, wheat flour. Now, I need to set this to 200. I'm going to copy and paste that across to all of these, because in doing this, it means that the grist mills that are going to be placed on this island in just a second can immediately store the wheat flour in these warehouses, which is great. So what we'll do is run some paths up to the entrances, and then on top of these guys, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize the warehouses a little bit, just a high priority, not a very high priority. On top of these guys, though, we can do 1, we can do 2, we can do 3 grist mills, 60 horsepower each, so that's absolutely nothing coming out of these guys, which is perfect. We can throw some wooden stairs on here if we really want to, which I don't really see an issue with, so that's going to be how you get up to the grist mills. And then across from the grist mills, what I'm thinking we could do is go to landscaping, we can get some levees, and we could go and build a pair of bakeries. So this way, we have essentially got bread production locked down on this island. Now, like I mentioned, we are just going to be prioritizing. I guess we'll prioritize. Oh, I don't want to prioritize all of this. I don't really want to prioritize that at all. There we go. So we'll prioritize things that way, and the rest of this is going to be, I guess, relatively normal priorities. It's not really a huge deal. The main thing right now, though, is the whole new breeding thing we have going on over here. So, interestingly, they've already built 2 of the breeding pods. They just haven't got any way to get up there. Regardless, I think this will be a really great addition to the colony. Yes, it's going to need more workers, but it's also going to be more storage, and it's also going to be more food production that'll hopefully deal with the massive amount of wheat that we have. Now, keep in mind that all of that wheat is essentially in District 1. If we look at District 2, they have none. They have a good amount of potatoes, but they're not growing. I actually don't know, for a second there I thought we were growing wheat over here. We're not in the slightest. So yeah, this district it's doing just fine. But this, I think, will be a great production. So let's go ahead and prioritize building this smelter, and let's just keep an eye on the breeding pods. And you know what? Actually, I have one more build project in mind that I want to do. I want to come up this way, just while we're talking about warehouses and setting them to be specialist things. Let's go and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 warehouses right here. Let's go and do some single platforms. Let's do some stairs here and here. And then let's just bring a little path sort of down and around. We'll connect it through to all of those doors. And what I want to do with this is I want to delete these guys as well. I want to go in and delete that extra little bit of path. But what I want to do with this is essentially set all of these warehouses to only store scrap metal, so that essentially we can go ahead and have a whole bunch of scrap metal gatherers, scavenger flags, moving all of that into the warehouses. Oh, this is not good. We have a drought coming in 3 days. That's... I mean, I say it's not good. It's not like we've ever actually really had many major issues with droughts, but it's still not good. It's still not a good thing that all of the water is going to go away, so... I mean, hopefully we'll be fine. There's always a chance that things are going to go badly, you never know. But what is going well is our construction. All of the paths and platforms have been built, so we have 6 more Babby Beavers on the way here, with another 6 that'll be coming along shortly thereafter. Looking at this central island, I think the first of the levees has been built as well. And then looking up here, this thing is not working because there's no one to work there, which is honestly okay. I'm not super worried about that. We do have some of the warehouses coming along though, which is beautiful news. And so I want to turn my attention elsewhere. I want to start looking at science. Not specifically science, although getting things like the number cruncher and the golem part factory would be amazing. But specifically, I want to unlock a few things. I want to get the engine, because 0.2 logs per hour will generate 400 horsepower of, well, power, which would be amazing. It would mean that we don't have to rely on water anymore for power. We can just power things the whole year round, even during a drought. So I'm going to unlock this because we are about to start producing metal at the smelter. So we'll go ahead and unlock the engine. That's 400 science. I'm also going to unlock the gravity battery, which stores energy surplus and gives it back when the network is underpowered. The higher this thing's built, the more energy it can store. So long story short, basically, if I put it here, I guess, it's going to store more energy than if I put it here, for example. So why don't I just build it on top of this? Why wouldn't I just do that, for example, right? Just build it way up there, or I don't know, I could build it over here as well. That would be sort of a place for this thing to exist, I guess. It's a bit of a weird spot for it, and honestly, I don't really know how it works in terms of actually storing power and how I'd connect it to things, but I think it's going to be good to have, and I think getting the high power shaft is also probably a bit of a good idea. Now, we can also go and look into other things as well. The efficient mine, for example, would be kind of lovely, but to build that, we need 4,000 science, which we certainly don't have, and we also need reinforced planks. Now, to get those, we need to use a plank and tree sap to, or rather, a plank and resin. Okay, so that might be worth getting. Although I guess we need the resin first, which is the trappers, or the tappers shack. It employs tappers who gather sap and syrup from trees. They gather maple syrup and pine resin. So this is something that I do absolutely want. And this is something that I'm thinking we can sort of place right about here. Because if I do that, it gives these guys access to all of these trees and to some of these trees back here. Which actually has me tempted to put it somewhere like here for a little bit more access, but regardless, I think in there will be just fine, and so that means that, oh man, we need power for the wood workshop as well. Also need 800 science, so we're a little bit of a ways away from that regardless. It would still be nice though. Oh, this is done. Well, that's good. This is set up to only contain wheat flour as well, which is fantastic, so hopefully it's not going to be too long until we see things actually coming together here. We still have 17 vacancies, which is kind of a major issue. Oh, and there it is. The drought has started. It's a 5-day drought, which is honestly not the end of the world. I don't mind that too much. We can certainly deal with it. And I've actually been having a bit of a look around the map just to get an idea of where else we can get water from, because I realize if we look at the paths here, this space up here and just this area in general is all pretty far away from the district center, which means it's exceptionally far away from the water that we have over here. So I think we need to do something about that, especially considering we're getting a little bit low on water in those tanks. So I had a realization. I realized that there's going to be water in here for quite a while. So if I was to get something like a deep water pump, and I was to build it like here, I don't know if that actually makes contact with the water, unfortunately. I can't really tell, to be completely honest, but I think it does. And so if I built that, oh, you know what? I don't think it actually does. Looking at it, it doesn't look like it touches the bottom. Hold on, maximum depth is 6. Does that actually get down there? I don't think it does. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's just beyond the maximum depth, which is slightly annoying. If I could get it here, that would be great. But unfortunately, I can't. So what I think I'm going to have to try and do here is build a whole bunch of levees to bring this land up a little bit. Now, I could, if I wanted to, look into terraforming at some point. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I don't for the life of me remember exactly where it is or how it works. I know it's something you can do, I think. Terraforming station, yeah. Employs golems which place terrain blocks. So we're a bit of a ways away from that one. Terrain blocks are cool and all, but I think levees. I think I'm going to have to build a bunch of levees here. And we're going to sort of utilize this body of water to hopefully give us some water on this side of everything. And this is actually a really good spot for this, but it's the pumps. Oh no, we can put the pump there. Yeah, that's kind of perfect is what I'm thinking, right? So a water pump right there, taking water from this little section of water during a drought. And what we can do is just go ahead and store that water in a large water tank over here or down here or even up here if we really wanted to, which honestly I don't necessarily hate the idea of doing. So yeah, large water tank, I guess, here, and I'm gonna go here just because I want the I want them to be sort of symmetrical. So the path's gonna go around like this. It's gonna connect there as well, and all I need to do is a little platform and some stairs just like this, and that should be fine. So that'll be a source of water on this side of the colony, which is great. And if I really wanted to, I could probably put a pump down here so that, you know, when there isn't a drought, we can get water from that. But I don't know that I feel like it. I'm also realizing this almost gives me access to this chunk of land. I'm not going to bother trying to get over there because, again, the paths at the moment are very much red as we get over here, so it's a bit of a distance, but I think this will be a good little construction. It's a lot of levees, but it'll be good for us. It's also more jobs that need filled, unfortunately, but we're getting there. We currently have 11 kids in District 1, so hopefully it won't be too long until they grow up. We have 2 kids in District 2 and 1 unfilled job right there. So again, hopefully not too long until they grow up and start helping us out a little bit. But it's just going to be a case of waiting. It's going to be a case of, annoyingly, being patient, which I'm not very good at. I'm going to be honest. I'm not very good at. I'm also deeply concerned about the fact that we just don't have enough berries to actually keep getting kids. That's... Oh, that's a bit worrying. That's actually very, very concerning. Some of these guys desperately need berries. So can I like shift click or control click or something? It'd be nice if I could shift click to set all of the breeding pods as prioritized by haulers, because I feel like they should be. That is kind of the future of the colony right there. So I'll just go through and prioritize, I guess, all of these, which is a lot. It's another 12 babby beavers right there. So we'll get those done, and hopefully that'll help us out a little bit. Hopefully we'll see some people come by with the few berries that we have, and hopefully that means that the babbies will be here a little bit sooner than later. So something that I think might help us a little bit is getting another source of water for plants just up here. So what I'm going to do is get some stairs, and I'm going to go in and get myself a levee, a levee, a levee, and a levee. And we'll get ourselves a path just connecting to the stairs with another water dump just at the top right there. And once that's done, it'll dump water into that space. It'll irrigate all of this land. It'll help the trees grow a bit more regularly. It will irrigate the blueberries down here and hopefully be a good thing. Now we are, unfortunately, still at 17 vacancies. It really does seem like what we've done here is hit an interesting threshold where beavers are dying just as quickly as they're being born and growing up. So we really do need to do something about the lack of berries, essentially. We might want to get rid of some of the trees that we have around here, and we might want to look into more places for berries, which is kind of crazy, but I'm thinking that's kind of where we're at. So we'll go ahead and mark, let's say, these resources for demolition, and we'll go ahead and prioritize all of that. And then what we can do when that's all gone is just plant more berries in there, and that'll hopefully give us a great little supply. We can put some berries in there as well, and like I said, once this is all gone, we'll put them in there too, and that'll hopefully be good enough. That's hopefully going to help our supply kind of considerably. Now I'm also wondering about this construction over here. I kind of hope these guys can reach all of this, because if they can't, that's going to be a bit of a problem as well. But I suppose it's not really a priority right now, is it? Let's make this a priority. I want to see if they can get down there. It is just logs. I mean, it's a good amount of logs, but it is just logs to build all of this. So hopefully that works out. Oh, we've also got an unemployed beaver, who I would assume is going to be in District 2. Yeah, we absolutely do have an unemployed beaver over here, which says to me that we do in fact have 5 beavers working as scavengers. So yeah, we have 237, 38, 39 scrap metal sitting around, which means we're going to have a really good amount of, I guess, what is it even called? Just metal blocks. Okay. So we're going to have a really good amount of metal sitting around at some point as well. I mean, that's kind of great as far as I'm concerned. The drought being over is also kind of great, because it means that hopefully my berries are going to start growing again. And let's just have a look. Are they? They are. They are perfectly capable of building all of this, which is good. Although it does make me wonder what the water is going to do when it reaches a bit of a narrow channel right here. I mean, it'll flow. I'm just curious how it's going to flow through here. I guess it'll probably be a little bit faster, which again is fine. It is making me wonder as well if I could ever get water to sort of, you know, flow around here. It would be great. It would be really nice. Really, really good if we could get the water to flow the entire way around. I still really want to make some kind of reservoir in here. And in a way, I feel like we could sort of do it. I do feel like we could sort of do it, but I think we need another district. So I'd probably need to come down here to... That's a lot of chestnut trees. I'd probably want to come down here and... Oh, that's a really good body of water right there. Set up a district right here, which would be possible given this body of water. Set up a district here, and then use this district to build, I guess, some kind of dam between these two islands, and then use this district to build a dam between these two islands, and that'll funnel water into this space. I mean, water can still flow around over here, but I guess... Oh, how would I do that? That would mess up my power generation, though, wouldn't it? Because eventually the water... The idea would be that this space fills up, right? So a dam here, a dam there would give us all of this space. We'd need to dam up this part, and we'd need a dam here as well. And the idea would be that this area just eventually fills up towards my wall. I just don't know. I don't know if that would actually work. So that might just be a good bit of wishful thinking right there. Also, side note, a lot of kids growing up. We only have 2 baby beavers right now, and 7 berries. So how long until this grows? 70% isn't bad. This is not getting cleared out right now, which is bad, but this is getting built, which is good. So we have a nice mix of good and bad right now. And now we're up to 21 vacancies with 2 kids across the entire colony. Fortunately, though, these blueberries are starting to grow, so that should mean that in the not too distant future, we should have a few more kids, which is good news. So that's hopefully going to fix a few of our issues. This space here is almost completely cleared as well, and what I've also decided is I'm going to build down here. I think we will put a District 3 on this island because we can use this as a water source for that district, which is fantastic. The island is big enough and will be irrigated year-round to give us a supply of potatoes as well. And so potatoes are pretty much going to be the main source of food for every beaver in this colony, but that's fine, honestly. I think what we'll do is probably put the district center up here, just to be a bit different about it. We can put some housing sort of down and around it. We can do farms down here. We'll have to clear out some of these chestnut trees, unfortunately, but there's also a whole bunch of them that are dead, so we can clear those out for a good source of wood, and then use this as... I don't know, we'll use it as, I guess, some kind of base to get over to this island for more berries and more dandelions and whatnot, but we can put a dam in there. This is potentially going to be changed out for a dam as well. Right now, it's not going to be a dam. This is never going to be a dam. This is just going to be a bridge. And then this space here might end up being a dam as well. It's difficult to know at the moment. The other option would be put a dam in here and a dam right there, and sort of allow all this water to flow in. But again, I don't know how good of an idea that is, especially since this is going to be our water source. That might be a terrible idea. So maybe block this bit up, and then block this bit and allow the water to sort of flow around into here so that these guys still have water. I don't know. I might be getting a bit carried away. Regardless, we do now have some berries. They have been harvested, so a lot of the kids are on the way, which is good. Hopefully that means that, hopefully that means that this issue of 22 vacancies will go away, because that would be kind of great. I'm pretty sure that means we have no haulers, we have no builders, we have no one working at the district center. We have... I probably don't need water dumps to be prioritized. Well, actually, I'm thinking about it. I probably do, come to think of it. That's... yeah, that's actually probably not a bad thing at all. We just had a bunch of kids born. We're up to 8 kids now. So, on one hand, that's good. On the other hand, that means that all of those beavers are going to die around the same time in a few years from now. So, that might be... This whole process of getting a ridiculous amount of berries to get a ridiculous amount of kids might circle back to be a bit of a problem, is what I'm thinking. So one thing I think would be a good idea is this right here, putting some berries into District 2 with a gatherer's flag right about there, so that hopefully what we can do, especially if I go and make that a bit more of a priority job, is have this gatherer supply the berries for this district as opposed to taking berries from District 1 whenever District 1 happens to have them. So hopefully that's going to work out. Hopefully that'll be okay. We do have another drought coming in 2.5 days, which is a bit of a concern, but we also still have 5 decent water pumps over here. We still have this new water pump over here as well, so we should be fine. We should be okay. We still have 20 vacancies, but we have 13 kids now, so I don't imagine it'll be too long before we start to see things sort of turn around just a little bit. Having 13 kids, I mean, again, it's going to be a bit of a pickle because they all age at roughly the same speed, 38%, 39%, 58, 57, 57, 57, 55, 57. So yeah, there's a solid chance that a lot of these guys are going to keel over in a few years, like I said, but I mean, by then, hopefully we've sorted out all of our problems, because really it is just a population problem right now. Now, something I've just realized is that we have 351 chestnuts in storage, and if we get another grill, we can turn those into, I assume, roasted chestnuts, which seems like a pretty good idea. Now, I will say we have an enormous number of potatoes still in storage as well, and a decent chunk of those are in District 1, so we probably just need more grills in this district in general. That's just kind of a fact at this point, and it's maybe something to look into. Might not be a bad idea to try and just get this district to be, I don't know, a little bit more efficient in terms of food, so maybe that's something we do. Let me get rid of... oh, do I want to get rid of these? Do I want to get rid of these? I think I'm gonna clear these guys out, and I'm gonna go ahead and get 2 more grills, and I want one there, and I want one there. And the way I think I'm gonna try and do this is I want just a nice little layout here. So if we go to landscaping and we go to levees, I want 2 levees right there, and I want to get another couple of grills is what I'm thinking here. So we go into food, we go to grill, and I want one here, I want one there. Although that doesn't really work out, does it? Oh, no, spacing wise that doesn't work at all. So get rid of you, get rid of you. Give me a grill here and here. We'll keep that space in the middle, I guess. There's not really any reason for it to exist, but I don't know, I can put housing or something in there. It doesn't really matter. And then this grill here, I want to move it back a little bit because we're going to need, obviously, a way to get on top of these warehouses. So let's prioritize constructing these levees immediately. In fact, let's also prioritize constructing this grill and set it to be grilled potatoes, because then I can get rid of this guy. So we'll go ahead and move these down a little bit in terms of priorities. And as soon as this is built, we can obviously set it to top priority workplace and then demolish this one. And this will just give us a little bit more food production. We can have maybe 4 of these guys dealing with potatoes, 2 of these guys dealing with the chestnuts, and we should be all right. I realize I could have also just moved this grill forward and not bothered with all this sort of rebuild, but I've committed to it at this point, so it's what we're doing. Oh, this is being built as well. Oh, that's because we're down to 12 vacancies. In fact, we have an unemployed beaver who I assume is in this district. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, not really super worried about that. We'll just open up some workplaces in the district center, and that should keep us pretty good. So I guess immediately we're seeing this unemployment problem go away as soon as these beavers age up. That's pretty good. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of you, and let's prioritize those levies, please. And let me also get another grill. Oh, good. This has been done as well, which means this whole space has been irrigated, which means these blueberries can continue to grow during a drought. Lovely. We also only have 6 vacancies. We have 7 kids right now. We have 81 adults and 88 beavers overall, though. So we're going to start putting a dent in the amount of food that we have, and that's going to start to become a bit of a problem. So we're going to have to stay on top of that. The good news is this little bridge has been built, so we can, when the water comes back, go ahead and start gathering berries on this island as well. In fact, I think we're already gathering berries, so that's going to let us continue with the breeding, I guess. I mean, that is what we're doing, I guess. We are, we're breeding beavers. Regardless, it's going to let us continue with that, which is great news. That's going to help us out immensely. It's going to bring the number of vacancies down to 0 in hopefully no time at all. And it should leave us a few unemployed beavers as well who can eventually go and work in these grills, which is exactly what we want. If I get these guys going, that's going to be great for us. It'll deal with chestnuts. It'll deal with the over 1,000 potatoes that we have. And hopefully sooner than later, once the power comes back, all of these guys can get up and running. And you know what? Let's also prioritize this here as well, because we are very close to completing all of the construction tasks that I was looking to complete. So we're potentially coming through this rough patch for the colony, which is weird. It's a rough patch only in the sense that we just didn't have enough beavers. Definitely a weird one. It's like kind of the opposite of what usually happens in this kind of game for me. I usually have more than enough colonists, or beavers in this case, and then, they all die because there's not enough food or something happens. Like RimWorld. Every time I play RimWorld, they all just die because I run out of food. We never run out of food because we don't have enough of them, right? It's always the opposite. So that's kind of what's going on here. It's not that we were running out of anything, it's just that we didn't have enough workers in general. And so now I feel like we're in a really good place. We still have 4 vacancies. We actually have 1 incapacitated beaver in a medical bed right there, but that's okay. They're, getting the treatment that they need. But we have 11 kids. 11 kids, 4 vacancies. We have a new building over here coming together with the old Tapper's Shack. And so this actually puts us in a bit of a good spot, because what I'm thinking we're going to do is, in the next episode, we're probably going to come down, like I said, and build a District 3 down here. And we can start looking into the logistics, is the word I will choose to use, of blocking off this little passage for water, and probably blocking this as well. I didn't even realize this was down here, but yeah, we need to block the exit of the map from the river, and then we need to build something across here so that this stays as some kind of perpetual body of water. This right here is going to be blocked off as well, and either this or here can get blocked off as well. So it's going to be, it's a lot of work. It might backfire. It might honestly be catastrophic in terms of our power situation, but I actually don't feel too bad about that, because we currently have 36 metal blocks. We have nearly 1,000 scrap metal in storage, which means that we are in a position where we could build an engine. Now, this thing's kind of chunky, obviously, but that's 400 horsepower right there, which is actually more than these 2 wheels are generating right now anyway. So that's not bad. That's absolutely something we can do, and if we want to, we can also go and build this gravity battery in, I don't know, some spot or other. Up here, for example, or over here, if we really want to do, like right there. honestly would be a really great spot for it. I just don't know how this thing actually connects to anything else. I guess it says shares power with adjacent buildings. So I guess the best place to put this would, I mean, does it share power with, I don't think it shares power with levees. But if I put it here, for example, or I raise it up a little bit and then put it there, it would share power with that. Or if I go up a little bit further, it would share power with that, with this guy right here, with the water tank, which would be amazing. That'd be a really good way to get power. And I guess I could probably build a couple of these over here as well, which actually, I've got to be honest, sounds like a fantastic idea. So as a final little thing to do in this episode, because it's running on a little bit too long, I was wanting to keep these Timberborn videos a little bit shorter, but well, here we are. We'll do this. We'll do this and we'll do this, right? And then what we can do is go ahead and extend this. I don't know if this actually needs to be connected to any kind of power grid. Or not power grid, sorry, paths or anything like that. But my idea is very, very simple. Go to power. This does take a decent chunk of metal, but I can sort of just do this. And if I get rid of those paths, that's going to be kind of great for us, is what I'm thinking. Although, I wonder if I should put the platforms beneath them, or the paths beneath them, so that my beavers can get to them relatively easily. I actually genuinely have no idea what way this should be set up. I really don't have a clue. So I'll tell you what, let me get another triple platform right there and there. Give me a single platform. Oh, can I get a double platform over this? Or a triple platform over this? No, we can't go over that at all. Interesting. All right, so get rid of you and you completely. And I guess there's no way for my beavers to do this, right? There's no way for them to build that right now. So maybe we build them over here instead. And then that would at least allow us to generate power and deliver it back into the smelter so that it can work all year round. But I don't know. This might not be the way to do this. Although we're already building it, so. Well, no, we're not going to be building it because we're not moving metal blocks. Okay. No, I'll tell you what. We're not going to do this. I'm going to do a little bit of research and I'm going to figure out how to do it properly because I don't want to waste these materials building something that is just not going to work. And so as the sun sets, I think we've been relatively successful here. District 2 is coming together and coming into its own. It's doing all right. We've got all this production just outside of the district, and we have massive amounts of power generation right here as well. So this is good. Food is coming along. Water is where it needs to be. The population is climbing back up slowly. And even though we've gone back to 11 vacancies, we still have 16 kids. So those vacancies will get filled up, and I suppose what we're going to have to do is just focus on getting the population to a place where we have a relatively regular surplus of beaver kids around the place. And then once we do that, I think once we stabilize Districts 1 and 2, we can go and move and start building District 3, which I've got to say makes me really excited. I think it's going to look really great having another district down here. I think it's going to be cool having all these districts relatively close to each other. And hopefully it means that we can slowly work towards getting that reservoir in here that I've been talking about for a little while. But time will tell. Either way, that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.